I'm just back from the brink of my toilet, which I've spent a lot of time with in the last week.
Not feeling too good?
No, the stomach bug, man. Stomach bug got me. It's
I feel great.
It's just not fun. It's like, there was a moment, it's just like, I don't know. Normally, like, everybody has cravings, right? Like everyone's like, you'd be like, I could just crush a plate of chicken wings. Or I've been feeling pasta something fierce, or like, whatever it is. There's like so many times in the last week where it's like, I'm just craving water.
Just craving, feeling normal.
I just want to drink. I said to Brianne at one point, I was like, man, when I am healthy, I am going to drink so much water. I will never take water for granted again.
Yeah. This you being sick fairly frequently lately has made me appreciate the distance in our relationship physically now.
I honestly, I went so long without getting sick. Even pre-quarantines and stuff. It's not like a lot of people didn't get sick during COVID because we're all social distancing. You couldn't catch anything from anyone. But like even before that, I really wasn't getting sick. And then when I finally did get COVID, it just like totally wreaked havoc on my immune system. So either I'm going to come across a long enough stretch of time where I don't get sick and I'll rebuild that immune system. That's option A. Option B is I'll just die because the next bug's going to come along and take me out because my immune system can't fight it anymore. Or C, and the option that I'm leaning forward to the most, is that all of these viruses that I'm getting, I'm keeping a little part of inside of me, and I'm slowly mutating myself into some sort of super being that will eventually probably turn evil and take over the world and kill all my peers. But until that point...
Again, grateful for the distance in our relationship right now.
Until that point, hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
The B-Team.
The B-Team. We're here to talk about some news. And specifically...
Wait. You're Brady.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're Brady.
I'm Brady.
You're Brady.
Yeah. You're Carl.
I'm Carl.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was kind of nice. That was like assuring each other.
A call and response.
You're Carl. I am Carl, aren't I? You're Brady. Yeah, I am Brady. It was nice.
Very affirming.
Yeah. It was like, you've got this. We're here. We're here to talk about the news. Very trailer heavy week. Lots of trailers to talk about. We're not even talking about all the trailers, but we're talking about a bunch of trailers. So let's dive in. Listen, something that normally, if you look at like the grand scheme of the trailers that we would cover, removing if you remove the cast of this upcoming project, and you just look at it like on paper, it's an upcoming television show. It looks like it's like a comedy action cop type thing.
Some kind of buddy cop thing.
Some kind of buddy cop action television show, whatever. I would go, oh, yeah, okay, great. But we're not going to talk about it. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's on paper. It's not the type of show that we would cover, trailer that we would cover. Until you add in the fact that it is, it's an actor who I would I would wager you would consider to be fairly underrated.
Oh yes,
these days,
absolutely underrated.
Yeah. Do you, tell us about this project. What are we talking about here?
I don't know hardly anything about this project.
I know exactly what you know. I didn't know it existed until I saw the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
All 24
I seen
seconds
the trailer.
of it.
I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, cool! This is kind of like, like a buddy cop thing. Kind of like doesn't take itself too seriously. More kind of action comedy by the look of it.
You're supposed to lead with who's in it. What's the
and he's got the man who's always back. He always comes back because he'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, in the new show Fubar. This looks. Listen, I saw this trailer and I sent it to you, and like I said, it's only like 24 seconds long. Like this is very much an announcement teaser. It's not. We don't really have any meat and potatoes. We don't know what this show's about, really. We don't know much about the characters. We don't know anything. They just kind of threw a couple of scenes out, one groin punch, and a couple of
a very cheesy, funny groin punch.
Couple of cheesy throwaway quotes, and yeah, just to kind of announce, hey, the show's coming. And it instantly struck me as this is the perfect role for Arnold right now. Because Pete and I were talking for a while. I think it was when we watched not Total Recall. What's the
Bruce Willis?
The which?
The actor or
no? Yeah, what's the one that Pete and I were reviewing an Arnold film? Where he like sets Bill Paxton's in it, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. He's like a government man. Oh, come on. What's the
It's an Arnold movie? I'm confused as to what you're trying to get to.
Yeah, Pete and I were reviewing an Arnold movie a little while ago, and I'm trying to remember the name of it.
True Lies. You reviewed True Lies.
True Lies, yeah. So it was True Lies, and Pete had this kind of revelation that, I don't know, I was like, you're a little late to the game here, Pete, about Arnold's comedy sensibilities. That he, that maybe this is like that being in that type of thing is what's, is true great Arnold. And I said, yeah, honestly, Arnold's best roles, the spot, if you had to typecast Arnold into a role that he can shine in like nobody else shines in, it is an action flick that is a little bit self-aware and also just like really funny. And we started listing some of them. Total Recall kind of being one of them, or not Total Recall. Geez, True Lies kind of being one of them. Jingle All the Way being very much in that alley where it's hilarious.
There's Twins. There's
Twins, Junior. And even some of his things
one of what I consider to be one of his better films from that era, which is kind of controversial because a lot of people don't think it's very good. But Last Action Hero is phenomenal for that kind of feel of action comedy.
Even movies even action films that he's in that aren't straight up comedies, often he still has one or two moments. He has a line or two that's in there. Like I can think of one or two of them from The Sixth Day.
Terminator 2,
Terminator 3, and he's just, that's where he shines. And so I was looking at this trailer and it just hit me as like, this is gold, because you're taking the guy who arguably does this kind of role better than anybody else. You're sticking him in there. he's at a point in his career now where he can't do some of the stuff he used to. Like, he's an older guy. He's still at his age, which is what? How old is he? He's 70.
Yeah, he's up there.
70.
Yeah. He never really was big on doing crazy stunts to begin with.
No.
And usually had a double doing them for him. But even so, you're right on the nose, right? Like, he's past his prime. He needs to do something a little less action, a little more comedy. But
Which
he can
past
still
his prime.
do some of the action stuff.
Like I said, at 75, he's still in better shape than you or I are ever going to be in our entire lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, you know what? Pass that torch on and now do something that is still like. Don't get me wrong. This show looks like it's going to have explosions and it's going to have car chases. It's going to have, shootouts
Bag
for
tags,
sure.
apparently.
Like, yeah, whatever it is. But this just, to me, this is the perfect role. It's right. It's as perfect a role as I really liked the Arnold movie, The Last Stand.
Yeah, with Johnny Knoxville.
Because he just played this really like old, grizzled, his back hurts kind of sheriff of this little town who is now no BS because he's at a point in his career where he's like,
he's being double typecast. He's typecast as the action hero, but also typecast because he's old.
Yes. Yeah. But it was just, and it worked. And I think this is going to work just as well. I assume your thoughts on it are very similar to mine.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. I mean, it's Arnold. I love Arnold. He's the best action star of the 80s and 90s, in my opinion. And he can act circles around any of the other ones, in my opinion, as well. So I think this is going to be a great movie or show or whatever. Whatever. Yeah,
it's a show.
Great.
But yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
All right. Next up, we have another trailer. Shocker.
Another trailer.
This is a project that when it was announced, I kind of thought to myself, okay, you've tried this now kind of twice, and it feels like they're banking off of another franchise and trying to capture the same lightning in a bottle that they captured in that. So we're talking about the upcoming movie from Disney, Haunted Mansion. So obviously back in the early 2000s, we had a live action Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy in it.
Yes.
And then the Muppets did a Haunted Mansion maybe only like 4 or 5 years ago. 5 or 6.
I watched that with Emily and the kids around Halloween. It was like this year or last year around Halloween. It was really good. It was fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, it's Muppets. But can't go wrong.
But I mean, neither of them were these like massive blockbuster, like everyone went out and was really impressed by it kind of movies. Right. I can't. So when it was announced, I kind of thought like, okay, you've tried this twice. For those who don't know, the Haunted Mansion is both films are sort of loosely based off the Haunted Mansion attraction at Disney World or Disneyland or whatever location you're at, the theme park ride. And I saw that I saw this announced, and I'm like, look. You guys got really lucky with Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, you guys got luckier than anybody ever thought you could have gotten with that. Even luckier than they thought, right? Like, that did not go the trajectory that they were expecting. The whole reason, or that's the whole reason behind, if you look at the credits for the first film, Jack Sparrow is like a supporting character. He was never ever meant to be the sort of the main guy. It was Will Turner's story. But after the first one, they were like, okay, so moving forward, this is Jack Sparrow's franchise. I don't know. I saw it announced. I was like, maybe there's something to this not being a great idea, not basing movies off of attractions. Ergo, Jungle Cruise. I don't know if you saw Jungle Cruise. Have you seen Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, with
it's not great.
Mr. Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, it's an okay throw on and watch with the family, fun little whatever. Yeah. But
that's what we did, and we enjoyed it. It was fun Friday. But
for the money that they poured into it and the advertising that they were doing, and like what I think they really wanted Jungle Cruise to be, it wasn't a great movie. Like, it didn't turn out the way I think Disney was hoping Jungle Cruise was going to turn out success-wise. And so...
just touching on that, it really felt like just another Dwayne Johnson flick.
Exactly.
Like, it didn't feel anything special. It just felt like, oh yeah, this is just run-of-the-mill typecast Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. And so I reluctantly threw the trailer on. When it came out, when the Haunted Mansion trailer came out, I was like, oh, okay. You know, I honestly didn't even know who was in this. You know, I'm not over the moon excited for this still, and I don't think I ever will be. I don't think I'll reach that point. But this was a really entertaining trailer.
Yeah.
I watched this trailer and I was like, okay, I think maybe I'm on board. I didn't know Danny DeVito was in it. That was a pleasant surprise. I didn't know Owen Wilson was in it. That's a pleasant surprise. Like, it's a really sort of strange, eclectic cast that they've pulled together.
I'm looking at the IMDb list of the cast, and it's actually like, there's a lot of there's also Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. You mentioned Jared Leto and Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito. Dan Levy was apparently in it.
Yeah.
Winona Ryder.
I'm like, okay, like, they're throwing some money at this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna, this isn't $1 billion film by any means. It's not gonna be a massive payday for Disney, but it looked cute and funny and charming and not scary but spooky. Like, it had that
kind of like the other two we had, right?
Kind of, yeah. And but I'm telling you, there's one line in this trailer. I've watched the trailer twice now, and there's one line that both times I am like, this moment steals the trailer and may very well steal the movie. It's right at the start of the trailer when the mother is like, I'm just going to light a vanilla bean candle and that'll just change our day around. And her kid is like, will it though? Like, it's just this like super, super down to earth, judgy kid who's like, is it? Is lighting a candle going to solve what's going on here? That for some reason that line absolutely cracks me up. But yeah, you saw it. You think it looks entertaining?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as entertaining as the other ones. I'm not gonna run out and jump at the first chance I get to watch it, but I'll probably see it eventually.
Yeah, come Halloween
maybe
again.
Save it for Halloween. If it comes out anywhere close to there, probably watch it around Halloween. I don't know when it's supposed to come out.
I don't know.
It'd be for a first trailer. It's probably got to come out 3 or 4 months from now. So early.
Yeah, I'm guessing early
fall,
summer,
September.
I'm guessing probably early summer because I think it's a straight to Disney Plus thing. I could be wrong, but I think it might be a straight to Disney Plus thing.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
Yeah, if it comes out before October, I'll save it for October. If not, then if it comes out in October, I'll watch it in October.
Yeah. If
it comes out after October, I'll save it for next October.
Cool. All right, moving on. Listen, this is a weird one.
This is one I'm excited about.
A
Maybe I
number
should
of
be
years
introducing
ago.
this one.
Well, but I've got some interesting. A number of years ago, back when you were definitely single, because I was spending a lot of time hanging out with you, and and you were like, you just sit down and watch this.
Sit down, shut up, and listen to this comedian.
And I was like, okay. And you put on this comedian who at the time I had never heard of before. And I don't think I think it was pretty early on. Like if I look at when that bit came out, it was pretty early on. And so it wasn't unreasonable that I hadn't heard of him.
No, he'd been doing comedy for a long time, but that was like, that clip that I showed you just started making its rounds on social media, and that's when he really started hitting it big. Yeah,
so you sat me down, you're like, you got to watch this. It was like a 8 to 11 minute long comedy bit.
Yeah, it was just a section of a comedy show.
Special, yeah. And so I was like, okay. And I sat down and I watched it, and I thought it was funny. I definitely wasn't holding my sides the way that you were. But yeah, I thought it was funny. And then I kind of just left it. I never really looked the guy up again. He started his own podcast. He does this, that, and the other thing. Like he's always showing up in my YouTube feed and whatever else. And I've watched the odd thing. I don't think I've watched another comedy special that he's done. But I've watched him do guest appearances on things. I think he was on Hot Ones, so I watched him eat the hot chicken wings and stuff. But I still always kind of had that, like, I think maybe I've sent that clip that you showed me to one or two other people. That clip being The Machine by, what is it, Brett Kirschner?
Burt Kreschner.
Burt Kirschner.
Yeah.
And it's funny. And he started appearing in
telling
things.
A story about how he was in college and he was taking a Russian class and he goes to Russia and he essentially joins the Russian mob.
Yeah.
On this field trip.
And so now they're making a movie. I mean, the trailer's out, so the movie's pretty much in the can at this point.
Yeah. Comes out May 26th.
They've made a film about that story, kind of. So it's set years later, and it's kind of the premise of the film is that story that he tells in his stand-up routine is true. It actually all happened, and 20 years later, or however many years later, he's now... It's coming back to bite him. Yeah, he's dealing with some fallout from the events that took place on this school field trip. And yeah, I mean, the trailer looks hilarious. I don't know what's funnier, the fact that it's like the jokes that are in it and the fact that it's funny, or that like his tag along buddy in this is Mark Hamill. Like it's such
Mark Hamill plays his father.
Yeah. And so that's hilarious. But what really gets me, because I showed the trailer to Brienne, and first I had to show Brienne, I was like, okay, you got to see this. And I knew it wasn't going to interest her.
The stand-up special bit?
Yeah. So I knew it wasn't going to interest her at all, but I showed her the stand-up comedy bit. She laughed a little bit. Then I showed her the movie trailer, and I don't know, she could have taken it or left it. But I was like, it's just so crazy to me that this is a film. This is a Hollywood film with Mark Hamill, with like, there's names in this film based on, and the premise of this film is based on one stand-up comedian's bit, his like closing bit from a special he did like 7 or 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's that, I think to me, that's the thing about The Machine that stands out the most. It looks funny. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. But as someone who's not like a big fan of the comedian, I'm just wowed by and intrigued by just this concept of a film and really what it opened, like the potentials that it opens the door to as far as like storytelling and where we get ideas from.
Well, this is a true story. Like the stand-up bit is a true story. Like it's been confirmed by classmates of his on like social media, like people like calling him out saying, no, this hasn't happened. And then somebody from this Russian class is like, no, this really happened. He robbed us on the train in the middle of the night with the mob. So how much of it is kind of dramatized for his comedy bit?
Oh, you have to embellish.
Is who's to say, right?
Yeah.
But like there is truth in the story that he joined the Russian mob and on a train he robbed his classmates and the rest of the train with the mob. And so like when this was first announced that they were making this, I was like, oh cool, we're gonna get to see the whole story kind of unfold. And from the trailer we see that we will get to see a bit of that, but it's more just kind of like foreshadowing in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie. It will be, because the movie is more about the fallout that happens when he's an adult and he's doing comedy specials and the Russian mob comes back to
looking for the machine,
take care of business.
Yeah.
So that last part, taking a comedian's story, like a comedian who tells just stories about their life, because that's all his. If you watch his specials, he doesn't tell jokes, he tells stories.
Which something a lot
like
of
weird stuff happens with his kids and his family and his life, and he just remembers these stories and he just tells stories.
Finds
taking
the
a comedian who tells
them
stories and then somehow turning that and flipping it and turning it into a movie. It's funny idea for storytelling, for sure. And in terms of where Hollywood is at right now making movies, it's pretty friggin' refreshing. Like this is a kind of a unique story being told here, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's based on something that's happened in real life recently.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like a biopic, but it takes it a step further and kind of imagines the future as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, what a great way to tell stories. And to write a script and to have a film. Like more of this. Like Disney, take notes. Quit remaking stuff that's been made twice already, and give us some new stuff.
Listen, here let's talk about this for a second, because this was something that came up, and I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was like, should I put together a list? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I decided not to, but you brought it up, so I'm going to pull it up here right now. So, Disney, right? And we could pick absolutely any studio here, but let's go with Disney, okay? Let's go with films that Disney has come out with in the last three years, since the beginning of 2020. Okay?
All right.
I'm going to list them. And I want you to keep count the ones that I tell you to keep track of.
All right.
Okay?
I got a pen ready. I'm good.
All right. So, the ones that Disney has released, and I'm not even going to actually, you know what? I'm going to skip over ones that like nobody's heard of, because they were like little itty bitty straight to Disney Plus. I was going to say Netflix, but straight to Disney Plus, whatever. So I'll
Like
even go back
Pixar
5
shorts?
years. Yeah, so I'll just stuff like that, but actual like big theatrical films. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll go back 5 years then because it's a much smaller whatever. So the films that
right.
Disney's released: Beauty and the Beast. So actually, I want you to make two columns. I want you to make one that says original and one that says like rehash or existing IP or something.
Remake.
So one's going to be completely original, fresh ideas, and one's going to be like it's a remake or it's a sequel or it's a spin-off or it's a whatever it is.
I'm good. Let's go.
So Beauty and the Beast, the live action one, obviously that's a remake.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, that's a sequel. Cars 3, that was obviously a sequel. Coco. Coco was a completely original, fresh film. A Wrinkle in Time. Completely original, fresh film. Incredibles 2, that was a remake. Or a sequel. Christopher Robin. Now, Christopher Robin was tapping into an existing IP, but it was a very fresh take on that story. But we can throw it into the we don't have to make that an original one. I get it. That's tapping into whatever.
I would put it on the line.
Okay, well.
So I'm going to rate it on the line.
Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Now, the Nutcracker is a story that's been told many times, but this was a completely different, like this was not the story of the Nutcracker. This was its own thing. So I would argue that goes in the original one.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. Okay, yep, that goes in the sequels. Mary Poppins Returns, that's a sequel. Dumbo was a remake. Aladdin was a remake. Toy Story 4 was a remake.
Well, you're going too quick now. I'm not that quick at writing.
Do ticks. Just little ticks.
Okay. Okay. There was Ralph. There was Mary Poppins, Dumbo. What was after Dumbo?
Aladdin.
Okay. Continue.
There is, I mean, some of these that was a Russian film nobody knows about. It's an Indian film nobody knows about. The sequel to Maleficent. There was the Lady and the Tramp sequel remake.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a straight to Disney Plus, but they give it the live action treatment. Then in the original side, we have Noelle.
Okay.
On the not original side, Frozen 2. On the original side, we have Togo.
I've never even heard of Togo.
Okay, remember that you said that. On the original side, we have Timmy Failure.
Who?
On the original side, we have Onward.
That's... Which one was that?
That was a Pixar film. It was the one Pete and I hated on it.
Onward.
It was the Chris Pratt, Tom Holland Pixar film.
What was it about?
I was about the kid's dad passes away when he's a kid, and he goes on. They were all like mythical, like D&D type creatures.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, that was great. I would listen to that podcast, and I wish I was sitting in on it.
It doesn't matter. We're not reviewing each individual film here.
Moving on.
All right, that's in the original side. On the original side, we have Stargirl. On the remake side, we have Artemis Fowl. On the original side, we have Black is King. On the original side, we have Magic Camp. On the original side, we have The One and Only Ivan. On the unoriginal side, we have Mulan, the live-action one. On the original side, we have Godmothered. We have Safety. We have Soul. We have Flora and Ulysses. We have Raya and the Last Dragon. On the remake side, we have Cruella. On the not a remake side, we have Luca. We have Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
We have Encanto. On the remake side, we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid. We have Ice Age 17 or whatever it was. On the original side, we have Turning Red. Better Late Than Never. On the unoriginal side, we have Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, but I'm pretty sure that's a film that you're glad came out, because that was actually very good.
I enjoyed that one. It was all right.
On the original side, we have Hollywood Stargirl. Rise. Strange World. And then there's, like, we can keep going. But, so, give me a rough idea. You don't have to, like, count them up. You can count them up, but give me a rough idea. Are we, like, really heavy in one direction? Are we kind of, sort of 50-50 here?
Okay, so we are leaning heavily in the original. I'll give you, so my statement about originality being dead might not be quite true.
And maybe so there's two interesting things to note. One is we all make a big deal about, like, if you look at those list of original properties that have come out, and we could do this for any studio, right? Like, we could go right now and we could go, okay, well, what has Universal done? What has Paramount done? And it's going to be the same. In fact, you'll find much more in the original category because they have fewer IPs that they're able to tap into. But what happens is you look at this list of originals and you go, oh, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. I didn't know that came out. And that's not because you don't. It's not because they're not good. It's not because Disney doesn't believe in them. It's because if Disney goes, okay, well, we're launching 2 projects tomorrow. One is Toy Story 5, and one is this new thing that we've got called Bozo Goes to the Circus, or like some better name than that. But you could, like, one is automatically going to be a bigger thing in the news. It's going to have more word of mouth. More people are going to talk about it. So the stuff that's at the forefront of everyone's minds, the forefront of everyone's knowledge, are these remakes, are these sequels, are these whatever, because they're going, oh, they're remaking such and such. Oh, they're making a sequel to such and such. Oh, they're making a completely original film about blah, blah, blah. What? No, people don't do that. And so it doesn't get the same spread. It doesn't get the same word of mouth. Also, I'll tell you what, right now, if you look at your lists and you look at all the films that you've got in the original side and you look at all the films that you've got in the tapping into old IPs side, you could put a little subtext, a little subtitle underneath the original side that says, brought to you by the films that we make that are not original stories. Made possible by. And that's how it works, is that any of these studios go, we've got 100 fresh ideas this week, and we want to make them all into movies. However, even though we're Disney, even though we're Paramount, even though we're Universal, these are still really expensive things to make. And we still don't just have money to pull out of our ass. And so, okay, well, we've got these 5 projects that we want to make, and it's going to cost X $100 million to make them all. All right, let's throw out, let's, we've been talking about doing Frozen 3. So let's do Frozen 3. It'll make a ridiculous amount of money at the box office because we know it will. It's a sure thing. Well, it's done it twice before. And with that, we'll be able to take and fund these other original ideas that we have. Right. So people get all bent out of shape. We ran into the same thing. It's the exact same thing as I used to be heavily involved in our hometown. There was this town festival that happens every summer. Used to happen every summer. And it was music, and it was activities for kids, and it was like inflatables and talent shows and art shows and car shows and all this stuff. And it was a blast. There was literally something for everyone. And it all sort of culminated on the Saturday night and then the Sunday morning. Saturday night, there was this big age majority street dance. Sunday morning, there was a Caesar Sunday so people could recover from the night before. And the fancy, so in that scenario, in this comparison, the crazy heavy debauchery drinking events are the sequels. They're the remakes. They're the things that we know are going to draw a really big crowd. Lots of people are going to come and they're going to spend all their money. The inflatables and the kettle corn and the car show and the talent show for the kids and the drive-in night for the kids and whatever it is, those are the original ideas. They're the movies that are based on new stories that we don't know about yet. And you, sir, the people who are like, I'm sick of these and we need to stop doing those and we need to just to start doing, you're the old blue-haired farts on town council who looked at the festival and said, we cannot continue, like we'll keep doing the festival, but we don't want to do, like, you have to tone back this dance. We don't want to advertise this dance the way that you are, because we don't like that. We don't like that. We don't like that there's this event that has all this drinking and people come and they spend all this money on booze. And us who are running the festival, those who were running the studio, go, okay, but do you understand that mom and dad showing up Saturday night and buying 6 beers is what pays for the bouncy castles? Because the bouncy castles don't pay for dick. The bouncy castles don't make any money.
I see what your there are some parallels, I think, to your comparison here. But I think there's a lot of holes and it's a bit of a stretch. Oh,
for sure. But the bottom line is, if any studio tomorrow said, you know what, we have all these IPs, but like if tomorrow Disney said, we have a 10-year plan, and for the next 10 years, we're not going to do any sequels, we're not going to do any remakes, we're just going to pump out fresh new content. At the end of that 10 years, financially, Disney would be if still around, Disney would be in a lot of trouble.
They would financially, they would be fine. On it, here's my take. Financially, they would be fine, but their shareholders would not be happy because they're not making money hand over fist. Here's my logic here, and I think this is a more fair comparison and kind of a parallel to start analyzing. Is you look at how movies were made 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like however long the industry's been around, right? How often did things get remade or sequels?
Well, you do have to factor in. I see where you're going with this. And sequels, I mean, there were certainly sequels.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
You do have to factor.
the closer we get to present date, the more often that happens.
Right.
But like when in like the 70s, it was pretty rare. You had to have a pretty big hit on your hands to even consider making a sequel. It was usually always kind of sourcing new material to make a movie that hadn't been made before, whether it's a book or whatever.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, I can think of lots of sequels from that, but yeah.
You can the arguments to this kind of parallel are, well, it didn't cost as much money to make a film back then. Okay, yes, but your film didn't have as big a reach. Where now you can have your global box office now is way bigger than it is than it was then.
If it's a film that globally everyone is excited for,
than it was then. So, as things progress to present day, movies get more expensive, but they also see more eyeballs, which means you make more money. So, like this list of original ideas that we went through, then remake originals from Disney. Yeah, okay. A lot of those originals, I had no idea what those were. And I don't think that's not the fault of the script, or, well, some of it might be the fault of the script, but a lot of those feel like, just hearing them make them feel like those kind of B movie kids movies. You know what I mean? Like the dog that plays sports. That's right. That's not a huge film that's going to bring in money to begin with. But then you've got Coco, you've got Onward, right? Like those movies were made really well. They had really good marketing, and they did really well, in my opinion. Like they made their money back, probably then some.
So like, but what is your definition of did really well?
I'd say made it money back and then some.
Okay. Well, so let's tap into that. Okay. So
I would love to get in this, but I feel like we're getting way off.
No. Okay. So yes, you're right.
This is supposed to be a shorter episode. Maybe this is a discussion for another time. I don't know. Unless we really want to continue.
Well,
I just want to
the last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
Right. Is you've got, again, so you like the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about the way the movie business works is that let's say they go to make an original or whatever. It doesn't need to be an original. They go to some studio, greenlights a film tomorrow, right? Go make this movie. The movie is going to cost, it has a budget of $170 million. It's not like Disney just goes to their bank account and makes $170 million withdrawal and hands that money over and goes, okay, that's money that we have. It's money we have to make a movie. Go make the movie.
Yeah. No, there's investment and risk, and
they have to go get funding. Like these films aren't like, we look at these studios and we look at all the money that they bring in and blah blah blah, and we're like, let's make a $100 million project. Yeah, they just hand the guy $100 million and he makes the movie. No, Disney doesn't just that's not pocket change. Even for Disney, $100 million is not pocket change that they have sitting in the bank to take and just go. Yeah. Like everything is done through investments. And so as far as box offices go, yeah, I mean, again, these films like, Onward is a Pixar film. Disney marketed it. They put all their energy into it. It lives in the modern day where it's able to reach this big world and get all these dollars. Same with Strange World. Strange World wasn't Pixar, but it's a Disney film. It's You know, it had a theatrical release, so it had its best chance at making money that it could as any other film. Onward worldwide made $140 million. Strange World made $73 million. Toy Story 4 made $1 billion. Frozen 2 made $1 billion. And so it's still, like, as far as being able to fund these smaller projects, these new, they're not even smaller projects, and as far as being able to explore and find new properties, right? So, like, next month, or whenever it is, it's not next month, but Elemental, I think is what it's called, is the next Pixar film that's coming out, right? And Elemental is a film that's coming out, and it will be funded based on one of the sequels or the remakes or whatever that Pixar has done that has helped it, that has lined the pockets of the company to be able to give them the money to make these original projects. So Pixar goes back and forth between doing sequels and original projects. And when a studio releases a film like Elemental, when they release a film like Onward was not a financial success for them. When they release a film like Onward, an original film, they have every hope that this will be a very big film that will draw a big audience, that will create a fan base so that they have the ability to, at some point down the road, make an Onward 2. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but those films are always a gamble. And in order to be able to gamble on an original story, you got to pump out these things that you know are sure things. You know, it's like the same as any other business. Sometimes you take the low-hanging fruit, the small jobs or whatever, so that you can bank up money and then go after the next big thing that you're hoping to do. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, you're right. It's a big tangent. We were talking about the machine.
Yeah. No, we were.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
we were.
Yeah, because I made a comment about how
it's so refreshing.
This is an original kind of.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Anyways, okay. So moving on to Disney. Let's talk about Disney.
Let's talk about remakes.
Yeah, let's talk about a Disney remake. A story now that's kind of falling into. There's those films we were just talking about the Nutcracker. Pete and I were recently talking about Titanic and how many times the Titanic story's been told. I think an excellent go-to example is A Christmas Carol, right? How many times A Christmas Carol's been retold, and it seems like it's probably just going to be retold again and again and again and again.
Come into public property use, or what is it called? Fair use, or
public domain. Yeah,
public domain. That's the word. And
one of those stories is the story of Peter Pan. Now you talk about You talk about Peter Pan, and for a lot of people, the most beloved version that they know and that they think of immediately is the Disney animated version. Understandably, it's cute, it's charming, it's fun. You talk about Peter Pan, for me,
Hook.
I go to Hook.
Yeah,
to me, that's the best version that's been told, and it's admittedly it's not a telling of the story of Peter Pan. It's a spin-off. It's a sort of a quasi sequel.
It is the telling of Pan, but Pan as an adult who came to grow married Wendy and grew.
Well, yeah, but it's still a sequel because in Hook, all the events of the book of the story did happen. They happened years ago, and they're all sort of referenced. Right there's the treehouse, and there's the But so we now have a trailer for Peter Pan and Wendy, which is a straight to Disney Plus coming out like any day now. Actually, like it's literally right around the corner. Movie about Peter Pan and Wendy. And, you know, there's been a lot of Peter Pans. And some of them have been pretty good. Some of them have been like the one that Hugh Jackman played Captain Hook in and had that dancing number. That was pretty bad. Like that was garbage.
Yeah, there was that one not too long ago where it was kind of like a sequel to Peter Pan about how Hook became Hook and had what's his name? Wolverine.
I just said that, Hugh Jackman.
Oh, is that one you were just talking about?
Yeah, it was garbage. It was a terrible film.
You didn't like it?
No, neither did anybody else. It was called Pan.
It was okay. I mean,
it was called Pan.
Was it called Pan?
Yeah.
Really?
No, you're thinking that's a different. So the one called Pan. Okay, sorry. Yeah, called Pan, and Hugh Jackman played Blackbeard. He didn't actually play Hook.
Oh, right.
He played it different. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like Pan. You liked Pan?
It was all right. I didn't think it was horrible.
Oh. Huh.
Oh yeah, he played Blackbeard. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Well, it has a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It wasn't. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting kind of origin story.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But anyways, no. I don't know. Listen. I watched this trailer. There are things about this trailer that I look at and I go, "This feels really cheap," and screams straight to Disney Plus. And there are things about this that look kind of fun and magical and have that Disney live action, like things that feel, okay, yes, this is inspired by the animated one that we know and love. This has ties to that. Yeah, ultimately, I might, if this had come out when I still had the stomach bug, I probably would have thrown it on. I probably would have been like, oh, okay, if I fall asleep to this, I don't care, whatever. It looks charming. It looks like it could be fun. Ultimately, I don't know that it's up my alley, but you saw it. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know. Like, I'm watching it right now, the trailer muted right now, and it doesn't get me excited. It doesn't look interesting. Why does the clock tower explode? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, I thought that was one of the just like a magical fantasy type. I thought that was something that was actually kind of,
I don't know,
endearing.
But like Tinkerbell goes around the clock, it gets pixie dust on it, so now it explodes and floats because the clock tower has magical thoughts. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Happy thoughts. It doesn't look, I don't know. Looking on IMDb, Jim Gaffigan as Smee is interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's got that. I don't know. Like, not even Jude Law as Captain Hook makes me jump out of my seat.
Really?
I don't know.
I had to look up that was him.
Yeah, it didn't look like him in the trailer.
It doesn't look like him at all.
There's so much of this. I don't know. I guess part of it is just the majority of these live action Disney remakes are just not been good, not entertaining.
Yeah.
Bad.
I mean, I disagree.
I don't have a lot of goodwill towards Disney remaking these into live action, I guess. Hurts it quite a bit. Will I watch it? I don't know, maybe. I didn't end up watching Pinocchio.
Yeah, yeah. That was a mess. It was a mess.
I don't know. I would, yeah. Like, why wouldn't you do something more along the lines of Hook? Like, I think Hooked worked because it didn't try to recreate anything. You know what I mean? Like, it took an existing property and it's like, and asked the question, like, what's the next step in the journey of these characters, instead of saying, let's just retell the story of these characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's intended to be a remake, but
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. All right. Well, hey, you're not. Neither of us are jazzed.
Nobody cares.
Final topic. Okay, listen. Batman Beyond.
I like Batman Beyond.
What?
I like Batman Beyond.
I know. You and a couple of others. Batman Beyond is a property that I was recently watching a thing and someone likened Batman Beyond to Firefly.
Yeah, I would say, it's got a very strong cult following.
It has a
cult classic following.
It has a very strong, small in the grand scheme of things, but strong, passionate fan base. Right? And that's the thing. Like, again, to this day, if you say Batman Beyond, there's a lot of people, like the average money-paying moviegoer, to them, they know one Batman. Batman is Bruce Wayne. And to this day, if you went and you polled 1,000 people on the street and you said, tell me about Firefly, and they would go, like the bug? They just don't know.
You mean
right?
You mean one of Batman's villains from his rogues gallery?
Exactly. Now, Batman Beyond fans don't like to admit this, and Firefly fans don't like to admit this, but it is a smaller following. It is an extremely passionate, energetic, dedicated, loyal following, but it's a smaller following. And that's one of the reasons for a really long time that I've been really skeptical that we will get any sort of Batman Beyond thing, because it's just it's just a hard sell. It's a hard sell for the average audience to go, so they're making a new Batman, and I'm sorry, what? It's not Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, if you're going to make a live action, you got to jump in head first and just do it.
And hope for the best.
Trust that the story is appealing, which it is, in my opinion. Or you have to build up to it slowly.
Yeah. It sounds like there was a Batman Beyond project, animated. That's an important thing here. It was an animated Batman Beyond movie that was in the works under the old regime over at Warner Brothers a while ago now, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. But it's been canned a little bit ago, not canned as of the James Gunn thing, but we're just kind of finding out now that it was in the works, that the old Walter Hamada, who was the sort of head guy over at Warner Brothers several years back, kind of said, okay, start figuring this out. Go start putting this together and see what you come up with.
Right. So it probably would have plugged into what we have for the DC animated stuff.
Quite possibly. Yeah. I think this is interesting. It's worth, we're talking about like, a canceled animated film as the.
Well, I mean, we've had a Batman Beyond animated. No, wait.
Yeah,
sorry.
there was a movie.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Mask of the Phantasm or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Or Return of the Joker. I think it was Return of the Joker was the Batman Beyond film. I think this is I do think it's worth talking about because, again, it just sort of adds credit to the idea that there are people over at Warner Brothers with the sensibilities that are in line with potentially getting a Batman Beyond project in the works at some point.
We got 2 Batman Beyond movies.
Oh, okay. What were they called?
One was just Batman Beyond
in
2017.
Yeah.
And Batman Return of Joker 2000.
2000, yeah. And, you know, I think we've talked about this before. Projects like Into the Spider-Verse coming out and being successful, having a character that is not portrayed or that doesn't have the alter ego of the person who the general audience is familiar with. In, you know, to most people, you ask people who is Spider-Man, people would say he's Peter Parker, right? The average audience up until maybe when Into the Spider-Verse came out, and I would argue still, like, you know, the average audience didn't all go see Into the Spider-Verse. And so the average audience, if you were to ask everyone in the world, you're still going to have higher numbers of people say Peter Parker. That's all we know. But I think films like that coming out and being successful certainly don't hurt Batman Beyond's chances. Hearing this, that there was potentially something on the way, animated, but still on the way, doesn't hurt the chances. What are your thoughts? You hear this, does this have any weight as far as whether we might see something moving forward, or is this just a canceled project and our odds of getting one in the future, near or far, haven't changed?
This to me sounds like it would have been, being that it was animated, sounds like it would have been a direct to audiences kind of film, skipping the cinema, like a lot of the other animated films we got from DC in the last 10 years, which all kind of served to kind of, they were all kind of interconnected. They were all existing within the same universe / timeline. So that's what my gut says it is, or what would have been.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this was going to be anything like what Into the Spider-Verse was. No,
I don't think so either. But the fact that they were thinking about, like, that's a character that they were looking at revisiting and breathing some life back into, does that give you hope?
Well, so, like, I think, though again, being kind of in that kind of animated direct to audiences film, the people that film would have been made for already know that they're not the people that you're talking about. They're not the general movie going audience that we've kind of had a tit for tat back and forth about who comic book movies should be made for and stuff, right? Like, those animateds are for comic book fans. Like, they're very, very true to the comics. They don't shy away from it. They don't try and alter it to kind of be more appealing to a mass audience.
No. Which is why they're lower budget projects that are not mass distributed.
I wouldn't call them lower budget, but
they're lower budget than a live action film.
Yes. Lower budget than a live action for sure. But they're very high quality animated movies. Yeah, like, it's to say that there's going to be a Batman Beyond animated film, like, of course, yeah. I mean, it would have probably gotten the same amount of kind of publicity from, or not publicity, but like fans would have enjoyed it just as much as they enjoyed all the other offerings of that same style, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But stepping on my words a bit there, but you know what I mean, right? Like, people who it was made for would have watched it and they would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it's not a stretch for me to believe that it was in in the works that was happening. It's more of a stretch for me to go, why was it can't, like, if it wasn't the James Gunn kind of situation canning it, if it was canned prior to that, makes me wonder why it was canned prior to that to begin with.
Maybe it was just a bad story. Maybe it was just,
could have been a bad script, I guess.
Go work on this and show me what you come up with. And they came back and he was like, oh, no.
Second thought, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. On second thought, let's not do that. Let's make Space Jam 2. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a good decision.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Well, that's the news. That's all the news, man.
That's all. Go
Just
home.
a bunch of trailers and then a canceled animated film. It's kind of a weird news week.
And a weird tangent into remakes versus originals.
Yeah. Well, that's if you're listening to this show, that's what you're here for, ultimately.
The weird tangents. You don't care about the news. You just want the tangents.
Just the two guys fly on a wall conversation arguing about film. Yeah, that's how all good friendships are comprised. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out all of our links below: our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, and our merch page. All of them are great ways to support us, keep the show running, and just engage with us. Let us know. This is something I want to task you. If you're still listening at this point, reach out to us on Facebook and say, hey, I listen to the news show. Because we do. We have a number of people. We've got a good little audience listening to this news show every week. And I have no idea who these people are. Like within half an hour of this going up, this listening stats are coming in, and I'm like, who at 3 a.m? What part of the world are you listening from? This is fantastic. Like I want to know who you are.
So after you tell us who you are on the socials or whatever, go find a therapist, because if you're listening to us talk about this stuff, you probably
at 3 a.m, then yeah, there are better things to be doing. It's sad, but it's true.